Good evening, my name is Dave Kooker, also known as the Kiwi Kooker, and tonight's a cold, miserable night. I'm feeling a little tired and fussy myself. Don't feel like making something really extravagant, but I can make something really nice with a fairly little bit of effort, and it's a good comfort food. So tonight I'm going to make a Roman chicken, which is sort of a precursor for a chicken cacciatore. It has all the similar reminiscent flavors, but it'll take you probably about 1/4 the time. So let's get started. Let's pour yourself a stiff drink and let's get cooking. So I have 8 pieces of chicken here that I'm going to brown. You could actually just put the chicken into a pot and stew it, but I'd rather not do that because I like a little bit of a char or a cooked texture to my chicken. So I have 8 pieces here. In this pan I'll do 2 different batches. So after I put the chicken in, I'll give one side a good sprinkle of salt and pepper, black pepper. I'll let this cook on each side for probably 3 or 4 minutes because I just like that nice little brown texture when I'm eating a chicken from sort of like a chicken cacciatore or a Roman chicken. I just like that texture. I don't like my chicken gooey or soft. So let me cook the 2 batches of chicken, take it out, and then I'll get back right back to you. Okay, 2 batches of chicken have been browned. You can probably see by now that there's a little bit of char or brown on the chicken, which makes it nicer for texture-wise. I'll just set that to the side. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to cook some streaky bacon, about 3 ounces of streaky bacon. This recipe, you can use prosciutto ham, or you could use streaky bacon. I like streaky bacon more. And I like it because it's a little bit more subtle, and it is salty because I do like salty foods. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cook the bacon, get it started here. Oh, the pan got a little bit too cold. Alright, then also I'm going to cook 1 yellow capsicum, and I do like my capsicum about 1 centimeter thick, because if you make, I'm going to cook 1 red capsicum, but with these capsicums I like them a little bit thicker because I like a little bit of a crunch or consistency to them. Because after you cook these in a stew like pot for about half hour, 35 minutes, they will disintegrate if you make them too thin. So that's why I like them this thick. So now I'm going to cook the capsicum with the bacon. And 1 heaping teaspoon of garlic. You can never have enough garlic in your Italian-based foods. So 1 big heaping teaspoon. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stir this for about 5 minutes to make sure that the bacon's well cooked, and just break down the capsicum to where they're not too stiff. But I don't like my capsicums where they really crunch when they bite into them. So let me cook this for about 5-6 minutes and I'll get right back to you. Okay, the bacon's nicely cooked, kind of soft. You want crispy bacon, and the capsicums look pretty good. The reason I cooked in a small pan is I wanted you to see what I'm doing. I have another pan here that's heating on this pad, so I'm going to slide it over, transfer everything over real quickly. I'm going to put the chicken back in the pot. All the juices have dripped out of it. Oh, it smells good. Now I'm going to add the other ingredients to this to make it sort of like a stew. I like diced diced Italian tomatoes as a base sauce. Then we're going to add some nice spices to it. I typically use a Kalamata olives. You can use capers, but I like these because I just like that strong flavor of the olives. It gives it a very much more like a cacciatore type of taste to it. Half a cup of white wine. Typically I use a Pinot Gris. Half a cup of chicken stock, and a tablespoon of Italian spices, or seasonings. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring it to a boil, which takes 5-8 minutes. And then I'll back down the temperature to a high simmer and let it simmer for about 40 minutes. Because you want all the juices from the bacon, the chicken, all the seasonings and stuff, especially the olive oil. I like that olive oil taste. And just let it simmer and just soak and mix, and it gets better over time. So in about 30 minutes, I'll get back to you and we'll start the pasta. So we have a nice chicken stew, Roman chicken, and then we'll make some noodles with it to complement it. Alright, after 30 minutes of a simmer, I'm not sure if you can see this from here, it's looking pretty nice, except for it is a little bit soupy for my liking. That's one thing about chicken, is breast meat is always dry, bland, grainy. You gotta always add stock to it. With chicken thighs, it typically tends to have more fat content to it. And it looks like this batch of chicken is quite fatty. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a heaping tablespoon of corn flour to it to thicken it up. Because I like my sauce a little bit thicker. It sticks to the noodles. Alright. And because the bacon wasn't as salty as I expected it to be, I have to add a little bit of salt to it. It's one of those things I always like to do, is I like to do a last minute check and let it simmer a little bit more, because you never know the variables of food when you buy it. There's typically no hard and fast recipe in a way. Oh, that's much better. Okay. Because you never know the variables of like the fat content of the chicken, the salt content of the bacon, until it actually simmers for a while. Everything moves together, blends together, and then you realize, oh, okay, that's not bad, or it's good. And one last ingredient I'm going to add to this before, and we'll let it simmer for 10 more minutes and reduce, is I'm going to add some parsley to it. Parsley has a nice little slight aftertaste. So there we go. So from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some pasta, or Italian pasta. And I was told before, I'm not supposed to say noodles, say pasta. Okay, I'll say pasta. I'm going to boil pasta for 10 minutes, and then I'll show you the final result when I'm done. Okay, the noodles are done. The Roman chicken is done. So let's see how it came out. Yeah, let's do this. So scoop out some noodles. I like these swirly pasta noodles. They really do hold the flavor. They're easy to pick up. And your spoon, fork, and things cling inside them. Alright, I'm gonna make a big bowl here. Alright, so 3 heaping spoons of noodles. I think I made a good call on the corn flour. It's very thick. You know, Roman chicken is supposed to be sort of like a soupy concoction or dish. Oh, salt's good. So let's pick out a good piece of chicken here with some bacon. Let's add another piece in there. And let's scoop up some capsaicin by itself. Also going to use this to add some flavor to some soup, the sauce. Got some nice capsaicin, still has some consistency to it. I don't like them crunchy, but I don't like them really mushy or, just perfect. You want to know that the capsaicin's there, but you really don't want to have a crunch from my standpoint. The chicken and the bacon, we'll see what that tastes like. Perfect. The consistency of the liquid, just nice. That's one thing I like about Roman chicken is it's just a good winter stew like recipe, good comfort food. Once I feel more energetic, I'll make a chicken cacciatore. Maybe I'll do that in a few weeks, but I think next week I'll do a French onion soup. I love cheese and burnt onions and toasted bread and beef broth. It's just really nice. Yeah, it's really nice on a nice winter afternoon, but I think with this Roman chicken, this will hold me over for a day or two. I think I've got plenty of leftovers here. So good luck with your attempt on the Roman chicken. I hope you like it. And later on we'll do a more complicated chicken cacciatore, which it does taste better, but I do think that Roman chicken is a good stepping point or a good stepping stone for you to get started on your endeavors and some really nice cuisine. So good luck. Talk to you later. Oh, it's good.